Tonight on CTV News, we investigate a new bill that could change the way that Colorado votes in presidential elections.
Plus, we take a look into a greener way to do course evaluations.
Then, how has legal marijuana impacted Colorado? Find out tonight on CTV. It's a crime wave. Just kidding, it's email scams. I'm Edgar Cedillo.
And I'm Matt Leisman, here to catch you up on all the news you need to know tonight.
Watch out, CSU students and staff. A fresh wave of fraudulent emails has struck university inboxes this week. Offers of fake jobs, faculty opportunities, and demands to sign a digital document have popped up in higher volumes than usual this semester. Many are coming from compromised CSU email addresses. The number of attacks in the past week, while not unusual, has come at rates higher than the normal background level noise, said Steve Lovis, a CSU's information security officer. One explanation of the fishy emails is this time of year is a new start of the semester. Most everyone has new schedules, and some people may be entirely new to campus. Scams are often high pressure and often involve threats or unbelievably good opportunities. Recent attacks have leaned more towards fake part-time job offers. There are actions you can take if you believe that you have received a scam job request. First thing you could do is delete the email and move on. Second, you could send the email to abuse@colostate.edu and have them evaluate it. The third thing you can also do is send the message to the Career Center if you are unsure if it's valid or not. Lastly, you can contact CSU PD at 970-491-6425 if you ever feel unsafe. If anyone has any further questions about security of their account, they can reach Lovis at lovis@colostate.edu.
Course review surveys are an important tool for the various colleges of CSU. They're used for hiring and tenure decisions, as well as to provide feedback on how professors can improve their classes. Last semester, the course reviews were available online for the first time, and this caused a few problems.
David Wolfgang has been teaching college courses for 5.5 years, and during that time, he says end-of-semester course reviews have been invaluable to his career.
Well, when you're in grad school, they're really valuable because you send them to your future employer. I included them with my job applications.
Dr. Wolfgang and the many other professors at CSU use course reviews to gauge their teaching methods and class policies.
Once upon a time, end-of-the-semester course reviews were turned in here at the Morgan Library. But beginning in fall 2018 with relatively little fanfare, CSU implemented a new online course survey system, which has brought with it many questions for CSU students.
The switch to online surveys happened for two main reasons. Firstly, since the spring of 2016, the course reviews have been subject to scrutiny for the implicit biases against women and minority groups in the question. The second reason for the switch is to save on paper. According to Paula Rodriguez, director of the CSU testing facility, CSU would use over 95,000 sheets of paper every semester on course reviews. That many papers stacked on top of each other would sit at just over 31 feet tall, almost twice the average height of a giraffe. While the online surveys did reduce paper waste, there were several other issues with the way the new surveys were implemented. For Dr. Wolfgang, the new surveys were announced around Thanksgiving, and he says that wasn't enough time to incorporate them into his class.
I wanted to be able to set aside time during class, and then some days it wasn't working. And so I ended up not being able to do that, and I ended up with a small fraction of my students actually filling out the exams this past semester.
Another complaint about the fall semester's online reviews was that students no longer had the option to submit their reviews anonymously. However, Paula says the option actually was there, just not clearly labeled. This has already been fixed for the spring surveys.
So this coming semester, there's a box that says, do you want to sign your name, yes or no? And if it says yes, then it just reminds them, then your comments are not going to be anonymous.
Quite as much, we're coding a little bit, but mostly we're going to be trying some things.
While a revised version of the course reviews will be online at the end of this semester, Paula says the facility is also working on a new evidence-based test that will provide more constructive feedback to professors.
A man who was running on Monday morning was attacked by a mountain lion here in Fort Collins. According to a Colorado Parks and Wildlife release, he was on Horsetooth West Ridge Trail when he was attacked from behind. The cat bit the runner's face and wrist, but somehow the man managed to suffocate and eventually kill the young 80-pound lion. Colorado Parks and Wildlife Northeast Region's Twitter account reaffirmed the runner's story. They wrote, After additional investigation, including examination of the line, we have confirmed that the victim's account was that he was able to suffocate the animal while defending himself from the attack. Colorado Parks and Wildlife also confirmed that the runner is safe and recovering. He maintained serious injuries, but non-life-threatening injuries as well. No further information is available at this time. Definitely a crazy story to hear something happen so close to campus as well. So
yeah, and believe it or not, I think that guy was actually practicing the correct kind of safety you use around a mountain lion.
Yeah, definitely. I think Colorado Parks and Wildlife did agree that he did what he was supposed to do. You know, get big, scare him off. Definitely did kill him, but he did do the right thing according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. So
yeah, growing up in Alaska, I learned a lot of bear safety, and it's very similar to the mountain lion safety in Colorado. And pretty much the big thing you need to remember is that you just need to make yourself seem like not an easy target for whatever predator is coming towards you.
Agreed.
So yeah, making yourself big, fighting back, that kind of thing just convinces it to leave you alone.
Agreed.
University officials have still not announced an official plan for implementing the ban on tobacco products, including vapes, on campus. The ban went into effect immediately after Governor Hickenlooper's executive order last November, but the university is still deliberating on ways to best enforce the order. Del Rey Ciaravola, the Public Safety and Risk Communications Officer from the CSU PD Policy Implementation Office, says last week's meeting was helpful, but they're still working towards answers. The university has not given another estimate as to when the enforcement will begin.
It's no surprise that the Electoral College is a controversial topic. That's why state representatives down in Denver are working on legislation that could potentially change that. 3 state representatives, including Jenny Arndt from Fort Collins, are currently working on legislation towards aligning Colorado's 9 electoral votes with the winner of the national popular vote.
So we're not taking down the Electoral College. We're changing our pledge of electoral votes.
There is some concern with the legislation whether it is constitutional or not.
The thing is, states generally have a lot of latitude in terms of how they direct their electors to act.
Our founding forefathers or parents built flexibility into our Constitution so that our country could keep up with modern times, which was the genius of the Constitution. It's important that we run the same language because what we'll be doing is joining the other states. So we don't want to pass something different than the other states did.
Colorado is hoping to join 11 other states in the Electoral Compact. Right now, these 11 states only make up about 172 electoral votes. With 19 other states proposing similar legislation, they hope that they can get the 270 electoral votes needed for this to pass.
If states who represent more than 50% of the electoral votes do not join this compact, it will not go into effect.
Professor Hitt notes that the effects on Colorado could vary, considering that this state is still considered a battleground state.
Well, Colorado, it's hard to know what the political ramifications of such a huge institutional change would be, right?
Arndt hopes that people from both sides of the aisle come together to support the legislation here locally in Colorado and across the United States.
When people voted for a president, they would feel empowered. Everyone. That's what I'm hoping. If that's not the case, we can think of something else.
The bill will now head to the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives next Tuesday, the 12th. If it passes, the bill will still need to head to Governor Polis for more approval.
It's 2019, and you might be asking where marijuana is since its legalization 7 years ago. Here's reporter Isabella Roberts with your answer.
A report was published by the Colorado Division of Criminal Justice on the impacts of marijuana legalization in Colorado. Marijuana legalized its use to anyone 21 years or older at the end of 2012.
They're taking it away from the criminals, and allowing the states to tax it, which is, bringing in revenues for the schools. I think it's a good thing. I really do.
From 2014 to 2017, Colorado State Patrol DUI cases were down by 15%. Since its legalization, law enforcement has been closely following black market activity.
I like the fact that it's not so criminal and and dirty.
Marijuana was the topmost common reason in school expulsions and law enforcement referrals in the 2016-2017 school year. Dropout rates have gone down and graduation rates have gone up since its legalization in 2012.
I like the fact that they've cleaned it up a lot.
This is Isabella Roberts reporting with CTV.
The report was published in October 2018. For more information, you can go to colorado.gov.
Okay, Rams, that's it for us, but don't go anywhere yet.
Up next, Hannah Willis will tell us how many layers we should wear for our 8 a.m.s on National Weathercasters Day. Stay tuned.
What's up, Henry?
Hey, Julia. What's up?
What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, you should fix that.
It's uninspired.
You gotta get in this 905 club, let me tell you.
So if I donate $90.50, I can be part of this club?
It's got mugs, it's got shirts, and it's all dedicated to KCSU.
Well, I guess I'm going to donate to Club 905 because I support local college radio. What about you?
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Good evening, and I'm Hannah Willis, your Tuesday night weather anchor. The current temperature is 37 degrees and slightly cloudy. The wind is blowing at 8 miles per hour, and the sunset was at 5:23 p.m. Looking back on the day, we see that this morning was relatively cloudy, but it cleared up in the day and blue skies could be seen over the lagoon on campus. The flower pots around campus remained relatively dead and sad, but don't worry, in the new Warner College building, live and beautiful vegetation could be seen growing on the walls. Going into tonight's lows, we see that things along the southern end of the I-25 corridor are supposed to reach the 30s, with things remaining relatively constant in Fort Collins at 24 degrees. Going into tomorrow's highs, we see a similar trend with 50 down at Pueblo and 56 in Lamar. Fort Collins again remaining a steady mid-20s at 27 degrees. A look ahead at tomorrow's forecast shows that things are supposed to get quite chilly with a high temperature of 19 degrees and snow showers at 70% precipitation chance with 1 to 3 inches of snow and wind gusts blowing all the way up to 20 miles per hour. If this forecast makes you cold, however, don't worry. You can just stand in a corner where it's 90 degrees. A look ahead on the week shows that the cold trend is supposed to continue with Thursday reaching 10 degrees and things warming up slightly, but still remaining cold Friday and Saturday. Thanks for tuning in to weather. Up next, Jess and Tara with the sports segment.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Hello, Rams, and welcome back to the JT Take. I'm Tara Barrio.
And I'm Jessica Mendoza.
Over the weekend, track and field had a ton of action, and so did the swim and dive team. So let's dive right into it.
The Colorado State women's swimming and diving team headed down to Colorado Springs this past weekend, where they attended the Air Force Invitational and wrapped up their final regular season meet, placing 7th overall. On day one, sophomore Skylar Williams placed 10th in the women's 3-meter dive prelim, scoring a 253.25 score. The sophomore placed 7th out of 33 divers in her second dive, a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck, which was her highest scored dive in the prelims. Williams was the only Colorado State diver to advance to the finals. Williams placed 12th in the 3-meter championship with a combined score of 492.6. Her final dive was a forward 2.5 somersault pike, where she scored her highest dive of the day, scoring a 46.8. On day two, Williams placed 14th in the platform dive with a total of 188.65. And unfortunately for the Williams, she missed qualifying for the finals by only 6 points. With upside for the Rams, Rachel Holland placed 4th in the 4th round in the platform dive with a score of 44.55. The Rams will have a 3-week break before heading to Minneapolis for the Mountain West Championship held at Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center from February 20th through the 23rd.
The Colorado State track and field team has wrapped up one of the biggest meets of the season as they travel down to Boulder for the Colorado Invitational. The Rams really outperformed in the weight throw, where Kelsey Bedard came in first for the women for the 4th time this indoor season. Also, the freshman and Colorado native Adam Dawson set a personal best to come in first for the men as well. Head coach Brian Bedard said this was a huge step for Dawson and proceeded to say, "He's looked really good in training, so it's just been a matter of him trying to duplicate that when they call his name up for competition. He was able to do that today." Coach Bedard also mentioned he thinks there is much more to come from Dawson this season and beyond. CSU also came out on top for other events such as women's long jump, where Amelia Harvey topped all other contenders. Michael Mooney, who won the men's mile with a time of about 4 minutes and 11 seconds, Maria Muzio, who held the longest mark for women's shot put, and certainly Maribeth Saint, who ran a 7.21 in the women's 60 meters. Saint's time of 7.21 has only been beaten by 12 collegiate sprinters worldwide this season, including her very own personal best at 7.18 from the weekend before.
In honor of softball season beginning this weekend, I got the opportunity to interview Coach Jen Fisher on her time before becoming head coach for the CSU Rams. Before landing her first coaching position in 1999, head coach Jen Fisher grew up right here in Fort Collins, where she attended Rocky Mountain, with a passion for softball learned from her parents.
So I grew up in Fort Collins. I went to Rocky Mountain High School, and I played a lot of club ball in Fort Collins for the Buckaroos, really kind of an old organization. And I think I was in 6th grade when they first started, and so it was a great opportunity for me to play a game that I loved. And my mom was my coach for a while, and then I went on and played in college.
After graduating college here at CSU with a degree in math, Coach Fisher decided to continue on her softball career at Ontario College as their head coach.
And that's down in southeast Colorado in La Junta, and I was there for 9 years and had a great experience there. Division II in Denver, and at Metro State we made it all the way to the Final Four of the World Series.
Fisher was awarded Division II Head Coach of the Year just after only 3 years of coaching. Shortly after that, Coach Fisher accepted her dream job as the head coach for the Colorado State Rams. Not long after that, was awarded Mountain West Head Coach of the Year in 2012.
I was lucky enough for Colorado State, which was my alma mater, to offer me a position here. So I've been here, this is my 9th year, and we're just really enjoying coaching and enjoying the staff that we have, and a really great team. Just, you know, talented, but great kids on and off the field.
Even 9 years later, being head coach for the Rams is even more of a dream for Coach Fisher.
I think it's even more. I mean, I work around so many people that are so good at what they do. I mean, it's a real joy to work with administrators and support staff. We have so much support here. I feel like, you know, from trainers and strength coaches and academic personnel, and we get to know people across campus that are just incredible at what they do, and the professors and everybody. So it's really a dream come true for me.
The Rams will travel to San Marcos, Texas, where they will play in the Bobcats Classic. First game will start at 10 a.m. on Friday against Abilene Classic.
And finally, it's time for the Take Your Pick segment. We asked you guys what you wanted to hear us talk about on today's show, and we got so many submissions, so thank you guys so much for participating. We have here all of the ideas in this hat, so Tara, do the honors and pick what we're going to talk about today. No pressure.
All right, so this one's from Landon Schmidt. Should college athletes get paid? Jessica, what do you think?
So this is a very controversial topic. It's really hard for me to take a side for this as well. I think one of the biggest things that we need to talk about when we're talking about this is definitely Title IX, because when you talk about college athletes getting paid, you're really only talking about football and men's basketball, because those are the biggest, those are the ones that come up with the most revenue. And so really we would only be able to pay certain athletes, and that brings into question what kind of lawsuits we're going to see if that were to change. And so I think it would just, there's a lot of questions if we were to change this and actually pay athletes salaries. I think it would be a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, from personal experience, I played my freshman year at Bellevue College. I played softball, and we got what was called per diem, so we'd get money every time we would travel with the team. So like for food, and we would have a place to stay. So in a way, you're kind of, as athletes, being paid, especially for, I'll say, use our football team for example. Most of them are on a full ride, and they are getting their school paid for, they're getting their living paid for, and they're getting their food pretty much paid for. So really all that they're paying for personally is things they do outside of college and outside of eating and whatnot. So, I mean, I think that it kind of goes hand in hand, and I think you make a very good point with the Title IX, because for softball, I mean, it just didn't bring enough revenue in, so it's kind of hard to say that we would get as much money as like a football player would. Yeah, and to be fair, that it is the way it is. Those sports make the most money. They have the most viewers. But I think it's also fair to bring up, you know, that are these players being exploited by not making any money off of these sports, and the people around them are making all this money. So I think it's definitely a very controversial topic for sure. Well, that's all we have for you tonight, but don't go anywhere. We have Justin Rios up next with entertainment.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be. They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Good evening, Rounds. I'm Justin Rios, here to fill you in on your daily dose, or Tuesday dose of entertainment. It's that time of year where capitalism and nationalism come out on our TV screens in full force. If you've been living under a rock, well, Super Bowl 53 happened this past weekend, along with some many funny and kind of unfunny commercials, like the Mint Mobile Chunky Style Milk commercial that made me throw up a little while watching it. I'm sure the phone deal is great, but poor execution and disgusting. And speaking of poor execution, how about the TurboTax Robot Child, which was literally the creepiest ad to air that night. The robot could be construed as cute, but the robot laughs hysterically after its dreams of being a tax preparer gets shot down by its human father. So, while somewhat entertaining, nah, just no. The Kerfman Gallery is hosting student art downstairs in the Laurie Student Center. Art comes in many tastes, shapes, and colors and styles. An artwork's meaning can be clearly illustrated on the canvas or remain ambiguous and left to interpretation. This gallery is from late November and is remaining up until this Saturday, February 9th. I found the hanging hands and insects to be quite intriguing, but the bugs keep the bugs at least 30 feet away from my breathing space. Reminder that student submissions for the art and science exhibit at the Kerfman Gallery is this Thursday. You can submit your artwork at natsci.colostate.edu. There are 3 things St. Patrick's Day is known for. 1, celebrating the patron saint of Ireland. 2, getting very drunk. And 3, food overload. But if you are looking forward to partaking in all 3 in Old Town, alas, the Fort Collins annual St. Patrick's Day parade is #canceled. The longtime tradition is officially retiring according to a downtown Fort Collins Business Association news release. The association pulled the plug due to the rising cost of producing the parade. Organizers tried to implement the best preventative measures to secure the parade, which in turn made it difficult to fund the parade. Hey, the wall got a GoFundMe. Maybe someone can start one to bring back the parade? We're so lucky to be joined by the Vice President of the United Women of Color and the lead coordinator of the upcoming hair show, Joyce St. Jor. So nice to have you.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling today? Feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I'm awesome.
Well, good. So I was looking on the event page on the website, and it said that there's, aside from there being so many events, there's a hair show. Could you maybe explain to our audiences out there who don't know what that is, maybe a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So a hair show is actually something that typically happens on a national scale. Usually stylists from all around the world come together, and it gives them the opportunity to showcase new products that they're trying to sell, showcase different ways of cutting hair, showcase different styles, and get out new trends. But for the purposes of United Women of Color, we conduct a hair show to provide the opportunity for local stylists to come and compete and to showcase the different styles that they may have, and just being able to be creative and get their work out there.
That sounds amazing. It sounds fabulous, actually.
Yeah.
Did it happen last year as well?
Yes, this has been a tradition for 4 years, possibly longer. I've only been here for 3, but I'm super excited and really honored to continue the tradition.
Tell me an experience that you've had in the past hair shows that really stand out to you, that really make you go, you know what, this is pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Last year, I was actually one of the stylists. Ooh. I actually competed.
Nice.
And that was quite the experience. It really challenged me, especially considering the fact that you really have to push yourself and be creative and come up with new styles. A lot of these styles take a lot of time. Like braids can take up to 8 hours to do on somebody. So it definitely pushed me, but it was such an amazing opportunity to really test my skills and to showcase truly black hair within the community and showcasing the beauty that I can hold. So.
Agreed. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to in this upcoming event?
I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the stylists come up with.
Right.
Our theme this year is reclamation, taking back what has always been ours. And we have 3 rounds as well as a freestyle round. So stylists have to come up with hairstyles that stay within the realms of the rounds, and then the freestyle round, they have free realms to do whatever they want. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with. We also provide the platform for local vendors to showcase their artwork, to showcase their clothing brands, and it's a really awesome opportunity to see what they have to offer as well.
Well, thank you again, Joyce. Your time is really well appreciated, and I hope to see you there. You can check out the hair show on the 10th and look at all the Black History Month events on the Black and African American Cultural Center's website at www.baacc.colostate.edu. That's all the time we have for today, but you can tune in tomorrow to Local Beats, same time, same channel, with the people you know. Stay safe and good night.